Yes, that's right.
So my final question to you is, what does he need you for then? Why are you here talking to us? If God wants us to believe in him, and he can do anything he wants, and he exists, then there's no need for you to convince us. Am I wrong?
That was something I was trying to get to, but I didn't put it in that way.
Well, no, not necessarily. My actions could be pointless, but you'd have to ask God, I suppose.
And if I was to ask God and receive no answer, would that change anything? Would that change your presence here? Would it change your purpose for being here and attempting to convince us of your point of view?
Well, like I said, I felt the desire to come on and do this.
Well, fair enough. I mean, we all feel the desire to do this. It's essentially why atheists like myself, Rayoni, the Kitsch, Zulu, DPR Jones, you name it. I mean, the list goes on. There's obviously a desire to do these things. And I can justify why I'm here doing these things. I can tell you exactly why I'm doing these things. I'm not doing them for somebody who should be doing them for themselves. I'm doing them because there's nobody else but atheists like myself who are willing to stand up to the plate. It just seems very degrading to this concept of God of yours to demean him in the sense that it takes you to sort of use ideological contexts and word games to help him out. I think it's perfectly within his ability, presumably, if he has this ability, to prove it to us. He doesn't need you. Am I wrong?
No, he doesn't need me, but I should be flattered that I am here and I do get to be a part of something he doesn't need me for.
Well, I hate to take it in this direction, but if he asked you to kill your child to prove his existence, would you do it?
I don't have a child.
No, in the event that you did, let's assume you had a child. Would you kill your child to help God out?
Well, yes, if it was him asking, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't want to take anything away from you, but personally, I think that's sad. I think that's disgusting. I don't think you would actually do it.
I would. God has his reasons. It sounds barbaric, but if you think about it, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading the text here in Blog TV.
Don't read the text, dude. When we're talking, don't read the text. Trust me, man. It'll stray your mind from the topic. Just avoid it.
I understand. I said something shocking. I understand that's shocking. But it seems shocking on a humanistic level, but. The fact is, God would receive my son's soul, and would be very pleased.
The thing is, this instance isn't original. There is an instance of a woman, I think it was last year or the year before, where she killed her 2 children because she didn't want them to grow up or do anything sinful. So she killed them under the ages of 1. I think she drowned them or something like that. And then she actually did that, and then she was put to jail. So
Andrea Yates, you're talking about, right?
The woman
that murdered her several children in the bathtub.
Yeah, that's the one. And so it's not just a case of it being just a what-if scenario. People actually do this on behalf of their religion, and that is the problem that we hold against religion as a general, not just Christianity. Don't take it against you or your faith in particular. It is against religion in general because it makes people do things that they would not normally do.
I just want to come in at this point. Warrior, how much proof would you need that this is actually God talking to you for you to kill your son in his name? How would you be absolutely convinced that it's not just some mental delusion? How much would it have to take a physical appearance? Would it have to take a physical appearance in front of a crowd that you can tell you that was actually him, you just weren't hallucinating? How much proof would you need?
That's very hard to say. First of all, let's just stress that we're talking about a hypothetical here, one which I don't believe will ever happen.
But the thing is, it has happened before.
Oh, well, fair enough. He's got a point here. He's got a point. It's a hypothetical question, and let's address it as so. Now, granted, with other people, we're not talking to them though. With Andrea Yates, yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, I'd do that for sure," you know. But hypothetically, he's right. You know, we're talking hypothetically, and he's addressing it hypothetically, and I respect him for that.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't believe this will happen. God seems to be past testing people's faith with this. He's not done it again since Abraham and Isaac. And bear in mind, Abraham never had to go through with that.
He would have, though. According to the Bible, he would have.
Yes, we review that as a rather bad thing, but if you think about it, it would actually be really nice to end up with Almighty up in heaven. It's like a shortcut, and he's ordaining you a shortcut because you wouldn't normally kill yourself, but when he says go ahead and do it, then you do it. You get to cut past this life, which is really kind of just the gateway to the better place.
Okay, I just have to ask, are you in support or against abortions?
Well, it's a hard question, really. I never found any, anything anti-abortion in the Bible. I think this is just something that religious people have managed to interject somehow.
Okay,
it might be for the greater good to have an abortion. I mean, I don't believe in raising children in bad situations. I think that can bring about more harm, whereas an abortion, it's fairly little harm.
Well, okay, I gotta give you credit on that one. I gotta give you credit on that one. Thank you for using your head in that degree.
Thank you.
You know, I think Christianity needs more people that at least assess particular situations with a sense of fucking common decency. And in that degree, it appears to me that you've demonstrated that, you know. And but if I may, I'm sorry, like I sort of want to pull this back to the Abrahamic situation. And if you may recall, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Jesus Freak 777 mentioned that he would feel honored if God told him to sacrifice his children if he actually had the courage to pursue it and whatnot. And, you know, a lot of people gave him slack over this because on the surface it appears like an incredibly barbaric practice. I mean, if you, especially if you don't subscribe to the concept of God, you just assume that this person's hearing voices in their head and they kill their children as a result. You know, I hope you can relate to my analogy of this. Like, that is sadistically barbaric. However, you know, there are the convictions of you truly believing in this God, and I can understand the honor that would be associated with carrying out this God's will. But as Ryu, as Ryu was sort of getting at, I mean, how do you determine the difference between what you hear in your head and what is God talking to you? Because I've heard voices in my head too. You know what I mean? It's not to say it was God. It was realistically, it was a subconscious product of my own mind. Sorry to say that, but you know, that's the determination that I've come to. And I mean, how do you decipher between the two? I mean, especially if these voices are telling you to kill your own children, which, I mean, naturally, I would assume naturally, you instinctively know is a bad thing. You do not want to kill your own children. But these voices in your head are telling you to do that, and these voices are proclaiming that they are God. So what do you do in that situation?
If it was sincere and beyond voices in the head, and you believed it to be sincere as bad as it felt, objectively speaking, logically, there would have to be a good reason for it. And thus, you'd go through with it.
But how do you objectively know that it's God speaking to you?
Like I said, if it's just common voices in your head, then I guess you wouldn't be sure.
Is there any other way that he does it?
What if the devil appeared to you in the appearance of God and said he was God and told you to do something? Would you do it? Keep in mind, if you don't know the situation, you would genuinely believe this person was God. But if you know who the person is, just and for the instance, then you know that it's actually the devil. If you did it, then you'd be doing the devil's work and then you'd be going to hell. So it would be in your best interest, even from a very flawed Pascal's wager type of thing, to not do it, regardless.
I suppose so. Like, I don't know if the devil could ever really trump God in this way.
The thing is that in the Bible, the devil has no power without God, so devil's antagonistic nature is actually because of God's power. The devil has no power without God authorizing his power first. Which gets me back to the point of: is there a necessity for hell? Is there a necessity for the devil? Is there a necessity for the concept of evil if everything is to God's will? My entire point against religion, in its sense, is that it cannot explain free will if everything is preordained.
Well, like I said, for a start, I refer back to what I said about the nature of purpose and why God is doing what